Welcome to Activations with JJ Ascension Message. In this episode, we'll be talking more about the shadow work mentioned in the September monthly energy update. Hello. We are back for another little energy update in the form of this Ascension message, just about 8 days post September 1st. Post monthly energy update, which I published. And I'm just wondering how everybody's feeling. If you can drop into the comment section of this YouTube video, or if you want to hop over to my Instagram and send me a DM, I would love to know if anything in that monthly energy update resonated with you, how you've seen that play out so far this month. And also if you have any questions at all regarding these energies. We're a week into it, but we still have 3 left. And I'm super curious to know what you're feeling. I've had some really interesting things happen just in this first week of September. That is why I got on here and I wanted to record this podcast. I wasn't even planning on doing it, but because it's been a theme, I thought I want to drop in and talk about this. It's really building upon something I mentioned in the September monthly energy update. By the way, if you have not listened to it, the link is below. And this has to do with shadow work. But it also has to do with another one of the themes that I brought up, which is multidimensional awareness. So it's all kind of intertwining for me, and it's super fascinating to see how it's playing out. Basically, what's been happening, and it's not only something I've experienced personally, but I've seen it happen in several of my sessions. One person that I worked with put it so well. It kind of feels like we are unnumbing as light workers. And I'm specifically talking to those of you who consider yourself healers, light workers, empaths, way showers, ascension guides, all of those things. I know I have you all here, and I am so grateful to co-create with you because it's so powerful. Even the gatherings that I do, the Soul Family virtual gatherings, whoa, I can feel how incredibly powerful your clairs are. Your energy, your vibration is when you come to those gatherings, by the way, as a side note. At any rate, back to this whole unnumbing thing. A lot of us who are light workers and empaths have had to survive and cope with the energies, the low vibrations, the density of this planet by numbing ourselves, even numbing our clairs. Even when you feel like you have a lot of your clairs, we still may be numbing some of them. I see a little bit of that as kind of the veil, and I've actually brought through for people in sessions. The veil is there to help sometimes. It's not just something that's a negative thing. It's not just to keep us in the dark. It's literally to allow us to experience these lower densities that we desired to experience. But as we shift into the higher vibration Gaia, and really she's already there, we're just shifting our awareness into that higher vibration Gaia, if that makes sense. What's happening is we are releasing some of our own personal veils or becoming unnumb to certain things, whether it's something within us or it's without us. In my personal case, it's been within me and it's been shadow work. And not to go into a ton of detail, but what's been happening is that I feel like my guides are directing me to fine-tune my inner essence in a way that I have never fine-tuned it before. I've almost been able to just skim by and not really take care of certain things, certain parts of me. And I'm specifically mentioning ages. Some of you may feel drawn to do inner child work or healing on specific ages of yourself. I've done that a lot in the last couple of months with people. And other people feel drawn to work with past, well, I call them parallel lives that they are connected to. And in my soul integration, which is coming up actually in October, I have not done a multidimensional soul integration cohort for a while. I've revamped the entire program. I'm starting that back up on October 2nd. And in that setting, we really deal with some of that past life stuff, the parallel soul aspect healing. we work with that and everything comes together to create this beautiful mosaic soul self that feels a lot more whole and a lot more healed. Many of you are in the midst of all of that right now, knowing exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not lost on me that we are also publishing this particular episode on 9/9 and on the full moon. So it's kind of right falling in line with all of that, especially if you're taking care of this stuff now and it's all coming to light and you're working with the shadow. But I think if there's anything I could tell you, it would be this. Don't be surprised. That's the only thing that I want to tell you because I am 100% sure that as I say all those things, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I'm a healer. I do that with people too. But here's the deal. When it's your own personal stuff, which is what I'm feeling drawn to tell all of the light workers out there, is you're unnumbing to your own personal stuff. And guess why? Guess why? Because we are finally deprogramming from the need to always be the giver of the healing and finally switching into a program where we allow ourselves to be the receiver of the healing. And as I mentioned in the September monthly energy update, we are our own best healers. The theme for September and beyond is self-healing. It's self-healing. So it's really funny that I'm even saying that we're switching gears because really you are the giver and the receiver, which if you want that to blow your mind, can. That's right in line with what I was mentioning about multidimensional awareness. You are the healer and the healed. You are allowing yourself to play both roles. You are allowing yourself to see in a way that's beneficial to you. And that is a very holistic approach to soul evolution. It's a very, for lack of better words, multi-dimensional approach. You're able to see things from all the perspectives. You're able to play healer and healed. You're able to switch on and off the giving and the receiving or do both at the same time. It's so funny because in my soul family gatherings, these virtual Zoom gatherings that I do several times a month, we are asked by many of the beings that we work with. In fact, this Saturday, the 10th of September, we have our Galactic Federation gathering coming. And then on the 11th of September, we have our Fairies and Elementals gathering. But in those gatherings, we are often co-creating with interdimensionals, elementals, all the things I just mentioned. And they'll say like, some of you need to anchor, some of you are going to be conduits for codes. And then Spirit always has me drop in. And some of you will clone yourself and you will do both because they always leave it open-ended for that. We underestimate our ability to really honestly multitask. That kind of is a kind of word with programming in our day and age, but really it's true. You can, when you're in your I am presence, be in your I am presence in two different places at two different times and in two different dimensions and like past you, present you, like it's all one. There's no such thing really as past. So you're always present anyway. We just live in the illusion that we're not in the present. Yikes, that gets really complicated really, really fast. But does that make sense? We are always in the present. The fact that we think we're living, quote unquote, in the future or daydreaming of the future, that's really just the present. It's never really the future. It's always the present moment. That's something Spirit wanted me to drop in and say right now. Don't know why. Hopefully helps some of you. That's how I roll. That's how some of these podcasts come. It just drops in and I blurt it out, and Spirit knows how to work with me really well that way. I don't really have a filter, and I just tend to drop in and set the intention that it's whoever needs to receive it and hear it will. But anyhow, so there's no such thing as the past or the future. Everything is the present moment. That has to do with non-duality. And that's another theme for September is the non-duality piece. So swinging back around to this idea of the unnumbing, I want you to also not just not be surprised, because that was my first thing I told you. And I told you I was only going to tell you one thing, but I'm really going to tell you a couple more. So don't be surprised if this comes up for you. 1. 2, be curious. You've heard me say that like I'm a broken record. Be curious. Don't freak out and run away. Because I did that like a lot. And so I finally just looked at it and I was like, what are you? What are you? Why is this coming up? What is this thing? And I asked Spirit. I was having somebody I do energy work with kind of tap into it. And guess when it dropped in? When I was out in nature, which is the theme that has come up and that came up in the monthly energy update, was grounding and getting out of the woo-woo. A lot of times we look for our answers, right? If you're the kind of personality that's like, okay, Spirit, tell me what I need to do now. Or if you're seeking answers really intensively and you feel like you've hit a brick wall, I feel like many of you are kind of at that place where you're like, it's crickets. I can't figure out where the messages are coming from. What happened to the flow? I'm going to give you a teeny piece of advice. Disconnect from that format, that form of seeking. Disconnect from that form of seeking and turn to just being present in nature, taking in the scenery, the clouds, the trees, wherever you are. There's got to be something there, even if you're in the middle of a city. Connect in with Gaia, connect in with nature. They are wanting to bring us the answers we are seeking in a more specific way than we have ever experienced before, because we are being called to strengthen our bond with nature, with Gaia, with the elementals, and with our bodies too. Our bodies will give us lots of answers. And again, I'm a broken record with that one because you all know I've been talking about that for several weeks. This is embodied collective ascension. It's us and our bodies. It's us, our bodies, and Gaia. It's us, our bodies, and Gaia, and the rest of the people and their bodies that want to come along. This is all of the parties who are involved in this. And in order to grid and shift together, we have to start communicating better with each other within this group. And I'm not saying that when you are asking your guides, I'm not saying that that's not okay. I'm just saying maybe think about reaching out to what's right here first and foremost, and then going way out to the galaxy. Because even I do that, and there's benefit to it. But for some reason, again, I bring these things up in Ascension messages because it's a theme. It's not like it's going to last forever, but it's just something Spirit's dropping in to mention is look within our collective, look within Gaia, look within our bodies and ourselves to find the answers, to solve the mysteries, to do the healing, to integrate the shadows. It's right there at your fingertips. You don't have to go light years away to find it. You don't have to go 17 densities higher to find it. Okay, my friends, that is my message for this week. I hope you have enjoyed it. If there's something in here that resonates with you, feel free to leave a comment below. As always, I do appreciate when you do subscribe and like the channel if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, let me tell you a little secret. I do not post most of my light language transmissions, the longer ones, on my podcast platforms. I only post those on YouTube. So make sure you hop over to YouTube and check those out. Again, I would love to have you join me for my Galactic Federation gathering, which is Saturday, September 10th. Then there's my fairies and elementals, and we always have dragons. Always have dragons. That is on September 11th. And finally, 2 other events I have coming up that I just want to drop in really quickly and mention. One is my light language mentorship program, something I have never done before that I just opened up. I have a couple of spots left in that program. That starts on the 17th of September. And that's actually the same day that I will be doing a live event in California, a multidimensional light language sound healing ceremony that you can also stream virtually. So like if you don't live in LA, don't write me off. This is going to be an incredible experience. You can just click on the link below and you can get yourself a virtual ticket. So there's so many ways to access that, and I would love to co-create with you, whether in person or if you join us virtually. All right, my friends, again, I am so grateful for your willingness to co-create in all of the ways that you do. I am sending you so much love and reminding you that I am you, and you are me, and we are we. Until next time.